Hey, morning people, what up? Just wanted to again do another stream as usual, not very long today at all. But there's a few topics that I wanted to touch on. So if you catch it on the replay, I want y'all to give me your honest opinions. Whether good or bad doesn't really matter, as long as you give me your opinion. Please keep your nonsense disrespect to yourself. I'm not here for all this bullshit about calling people derogatory names and all this, but please just respect people in the chat and respect the channel. We don't want this channel to get in trouble with any flagging and all of this. So please just relax, okay? I'm not a big YouTube. I'm a small guy. Just be easy. Keep your emotions in check, people, please. Anyway, as you can see from the description box and the title of this video, there's like three main topics that I want to touch on. And one of the first ones that I want to talk about is something that actually happened a little while ago, and it's from the MMA world by this dude called Mike Perry. Mike Perry seems to be a guy who likes attention. He likes attention, but he gets attention in the wrong way, right? And the other day, for some reason, he's been going back and forth, or he's been. Well, it seems like it's more of a one-way situation with him and um, Michael Jai White, and I'm wondering, at first I was like, well, why is he going back and forth with an actor? Michael Jai White is an actual martial artist, right? But he's an actor. He acts. Michael Jai White is like 51 years old or 50 something years old, or in his late 40s, I don't know. But Mike Perry seems to have all of a sudden this obsession with him, and he's been challenging him to fights and all types of garbage. And this last thing, but not the last thing, he's now on Twitter calling this man all types of shit. Mike Perry is black, but not black, sorry. He's white, by the way. But let me show you what he said to Michael White. So that's what he said. You can see it. This isn't the first time he said some shit like this, right? He said this some time ago, and he said he got a pass because Tyron Woodley gave him a pass. Now, I don't know about giving people passes and all of that, but here it is once again on Twitter. This white man calling a black man the N-word. Now, I personally don't subscribe to using the N-word. I try not to use it. Other people use it. I'm not gonna get on them, but I myself personally, I try not to use it. But it's especially egregious when a white person does it. I keep telling white people, especially white people who I know, I don't care if it's an A or the hard ER, please don't say it. It's not gonna come out the right way. It never does come out the right way. Something's gonna happen to you. And as the dude underneath says, you can get that jaw broke. Nobody cares if you can fight or not. I don't know what's up with Mike Perry. I don't know where this is coming from, where people feel like the rules don't apply to them. But the fact that Twitter has this up still, and I know people have reported it. I haven't reported it personally. I'm just watching to see what's happening. And it's odd because before, George Masvidal had liked the tweet. George Masvidal is a white Cuban, good fighter, one of my favorite fighters. But I was quite surprised he liked the tweet. I don't know if he took his like back or whatever after he saw a backlash, but Masvidal, I'm very disappointed that he had actually liked and approved this tweet. So all these people who have liked this tweet, y'all gotta chill. He's gotten some backlash from Angela Hill, another MMA fighter, black woman in the UFC, and she didn't like that shit at all. But again, all these black dudes in the UFC, y'all gotta do something about this man. Y'all gotta let this man know that ain't cool. But then again, the UFC is run by a man who supports Donald Trump. We know what's up with Donald Trump. So Dana White is a staunch Donald Trump supporter. And the fact is Dana White is making his money mostly off of black athletes. So it's just disappointing. And but Mike Perry, you need your ass whooped, to be honest with you. I don't care if somebody supposedly gave you a pass or not. You don't have no pass to say that. I don't care what you say. You need your ass whooped. And Dana White, of course, you're not gonna do nothing about it because you don't really care about black people anyway. So anyway, that's all I got to say on that. What's up, Black? Yeah, he tripping, and that's not the first time he said so. That's not the first time he said so. You know. The next thing I want to talk about is the apparent comeback of Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Dimitri Salita was on talking about how Jarrell Miller should be back apparently on the wilder-fury card. He should be back on the wilder-fury card. Jarrell Miller, if you know everybody remembers, everybody has to. If you follow any kind of combat sports, you have to remember Jarrell Miller flunking a test 4 different times. 4 different times. Twice for the same drug. The other time it was HGH and what was it again? It was GW15 something something and HGH and some other type of drug he was on. But whatever it was some bad shit. Anyway, Jarrell Miller has now fought since I think his last fight against Dino in Kansas, I think. And he was supposed to fight Joshua in Madison Square Garden, and he flunked those tests. After he flunked those tests, he came out and said it's a conspiracy. Everybody's against me. They don't want me to beat AJ and all this bullshit. And everything else is history. You know, we saw him be in talks with Bob Arum last year. And everybody was like, how are you getting this opportunity already? When you just had, in my opinion, again, there are bigger boxing historians than me. In my opinion, Jarrell Miller was involved in the biggest doping scandal. The biggest doping scandal for a single athlete who did it to himself. He was involved in one of the biggest self-doping scandals that I know of in combat sports history. Combat sports history. You understand? It was the biggest crash and burn of a fighter that I've seen. Dude who came up. A lot of people who felt like he didn't deserve the fight with AJ. I also feel that way, but it was a fight that kind of had to happen, and we saw what happened after that. But he was in very public talks with top rank Bob Arum, and he was rumored to be back last year. That didn't work out. That didn't work out. So here we see, I'm going to share the interview with you with one of his promoters, Dimitri Salita, who seems to be his main handler. Dimitri Salita. Miller should be a VADA lab rat. He needs to be tested 3 times a day. Facts, UGC, facts. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me know if you want the link, Black. Let me know if you want the link. You know, jump on and talk with me for a second. You know. Anyway, he's rumored to be back. And I am quite surprised that a man in Deontay Wilder, who is the A side, I would say he's the A side in this. His name's first, wilder-fury2. He's the A side, I guess, who was so vehemently against Jarrell Miller. Him and Jarrell Miller have these big problems. He was so vehemently against Jarrell, so highly critical of Jarrell Miller, that he would allow Jarrell Miller on his card. I'm quite surprised. I'm quite surprised. But it's not final yet. But that's just what Jarrell Miller's promoter said. And let me see if I can pull up that Fight Hype interview again. Credit goes to Fight Hype. It's their interview. You'll see their tag across the bottom. Check out Fight Hype. They have some good videos. But this one was a bit off-putting to me. One second, please.
with a major deal. Something's going to be announced. Something soon. Something is going to be announced in the very near future, in the coming days. I feel Jarrell is one of the best heavyweights in the world. I feel that he's has the skills to beat Tyson Fury, has the skills to beat Anthony Joshua. I feel he would have beaten Anthony Joshua June 1st. Um, and, very excited about what is going to happen in the coming days for him.
Any clues? Can I ask? You know, a lot of people have been speculating top rank. Is there?
That's a fair speculation. If all goes well, he may be fight on the card of the biggest heavyweight fight of the year and maybe of many years. So I'll give you that.
Okay, fair. And of course, leading up to this main event, I also want to ask your opinion, potentially clear to get past your opponent. She's talking about MMA. She's mentioning that she is going to make a debut.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't hear. I don't know if y'all heard that, but I couldn't hear it in my headphones at the same time. Could y'all hear that? Because I couldn't hear it in my headphones for some reason. Let me see if I can fix that up. Just give me a second. But if you heard it, Jarrell Miller's if it played, Jarrell Miller is supposed to be returning on supposedly wilder-fury 2. wilder-fury 2, right? But just give me a second. Let me see if I can fix this this mic issue I'm having. This headphone issue. Oh, you heard it, but I don't know. It's not coming through my headphones. But anyway, I'm not gonna go back there. He said some other stuff after that about Clarissa Shields, Amanda Nunes. But let me stick on this Jarrell Miller thing for a second. Let me tell you something, man. Jarrell Miller should be suspended for years. For years. Some people call him for a lifetime suspension, but he should be suspended for years. People don't remember Nick Diaz getting suspended for marijuana for 5 years. 5 years by Nevada. You don't believe me? Look. Nick Diaz fined $165,000, suspended for 5 years by the NSAC for UFC 133 positive drug test. 5. I mean, really, bro? For marijuana. And you have Jarrell Miller about to come back on wilder-fury 2. This is a man who almost went into a ring with every possible drug, shit that you can't even find no more, shit that you gotta go to old Russian villages and look for people who was a part of the 1960s and 1970s doping program to get the type of drugs he was on. I mean, to see him come back on a card like this really tells me boxing really ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? This man should be suspended for years. These people don't have no shame. You got, and it just shows you that, promoters say what they say, but what they do is something completely different. Five years for weed. Nick Diaz has had, since that time, he's had a very spotty career. I don't know. The dude likes to smoke weed, but he got 5 years. They said that was his third suspension. But Nick Diaz wasn't no pedhead. He likes marijuana. He smokes a lot of ganja. He smokes a lot of ganja. And that's all he is. He smokes ganja and he comes to fight. But you have people here, like, Bones Jones even know, who's testing positive for PEDs every so often. Every time he fights Daniel Cormier, he gets busted for PEDs right after or some shit. It's ridiculous. But Jarrell Miller is going to be back. He's going to be back. He didn't even serve a year out of the game. Not a year, because this happened in June of last year. June of last year. And now he's finna be back fighting on wilder-fury 2. I'm just surprised that people like Deontay Wilder. But then again, Deontay Wilder don't have no say in his cards, though. He don't have no say in his cards. He don't have no say in what goes on. He don't have no say in none of that. You know, he just has to show up and fight. Somebody else does his cards for him. You have other fighters who can put people on the cards and have a say. All that shit he talked about Jarrell Miller goes out the window because they're trying to find anybody to put on this card. Because from what I understand, this card is not going to be no well-rounded card. This is going to be a pretty, anemic lineup. Like the last time they fought, it was a very anemic lineup. It wasn't no good on the card. It was people like Luis Ortiz fighting Travis Kaufman and whatever. But the main event is going to be big time. That's going to be a good fight. You damn right it's disgraceful. That man didn't serve a year out the game, not 1 year. And he's coming back on one of the biggest fight cards, on one of the biggest fight events, boxing events in 2020. If it does come to fruition. But Salita is trying his best to get that done. He's his promoter. That's his job, right? But man, what can I say? Because even though Jarrell Miller isn't sorry for that, Jarrell Miller is back again talking shit about how he's going to bring some proof out and all this other nonsense. He's still trying to fight this shit, right? What can you say? Jarrell Miller might be back. Give me your thoughts in the comment section when you watch the replay. I really want to hear what people think about this. And I understand a lot of you are Wilder or Fury fans, right? I understand. But you can't tell me this man deserves to be back. He should be put to the back of the line, the back of the line for what he did. The gravity, whoever he's fighting next has to demand this man go on the strict testing. Whoever he's fighting, I don't care who it is. It could be, that's right, unbiased. That's right. That's right. This man is being rewarded. He didn't come back on a small show. He didn't come back on a small show and try to work his way back up. He didn't. He just said, I coming back. And I coming back on one of the biggest cards of the year. That's his reward. That's his reward. I don't know what to say. But again, juxtapose that to Nick Diaz getting 5 years by Nevada. For ganja. For ganja. What are you going to say? But again, give me your comments because I don't know what kind of example this sets, because you hear people like, Aram and all these people were shitting on Aram and these Fox people shitting on Dillian White. When Dillian White supposedly flunked a test, came out he didn't flunk a test. They still haven't apologized to Dillian White. They haven't backtracked that. But here they are quoting Jarrell Miller, who really did flunk a test. Not a test, multiple tests. He was setting off sensors all over the place. Just setting off sensors. Ping, 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 sensors all over the place. If you put one of them radioactive sensors that they use in toxic waste dumps on Jarrell Miller at that time, it would just go all the way to the right. This man was soaking up gamma radiation to fight Anthony Joshua. He was turning himself into the Incredible Hulk. He was trying to be goddamn the Red Hulk, the Black Hulk. He was trying to be Mr. Joe Fixit. That's a comic book reference to y'all. Y'all don't know nothing about Joe Fixit. Never mind. Ignore me. I'm a comic book nerd. But anyway. Dimitri Salita says Jarrell Miller is going to be back on, or trying to get him back on the Wilder-Fury2 card. It is what it is, man. But give me your comments in the comment section on the replay. I got unbiased here. We don't make you punch harder. No, it don't make you punch harder, sir. Make you sleepy and shit. There you go. But anyway, my next topic that I want to talk about is Adam Kownacki. Adam Kownacki is one of these dudes who a lot of people have a lot of faith in. They yeah, he wanted to be helped with cancer. Yeah. He didn't listen. To be able to do all of that, you had to say, I don't give a shit about nothing, about my life, about nothing. And say, I'm gonna take all this just to beat this man. I don't care about this $8 million they want to pay me. I don't want to spend that $8 million. I just want to beat this man. So he would have he was making that $8 million essentially for his kids, not for him, because he wasn't gonna spend that shit. After he doped up so much, he would have probably just forfeited his life. Anyway, Adam Kownacki is supposed to be coming back. He was rumored to be coming back against Dominic Brazil. That's not the case anymore. There you go. Kownacki should be on a microscope as well. He's cool with Miller, of course. Of course. Yeah. Kownacki was supposed to be coming back against Dominic Brazil. Dominic Brazil, I guess, is out the window now. I don't know what's up. The last time we saw Dominic Brazil, he was getting executed by Deontay Wilder in the ring. Now it seems Kownacki is going to fight oh shit. That's crazy, unbiased. That's crazy. Anyway, Kownacki is supposed to be. Let me share the screen so y'all know what I'm talking about. Here we go. Kownacki Hellenius, likely for March 7th at Barclays Center. The last time we saw Robert Hellenius, he was getting stopped by Jarrell Washington late. And last time we saw Kownacki, he was it when he was beating up, was it Charles Martin or Chris Arreola? Anyway, so apparently it's not going to be Dominic Brazil. It is going to be Robert Hellenius. Kownacki is one of these people who the PBC kind of has lined up as a defense for Deontay Wilder eventually. Remember, Kownacki was one of those people who turned down the fight against Anthony Joshua. And here he is. So this is his I guess they're keeping him warm for Deontay Wilder. So he's fighting, I guess, their lower level oppositions. Kownacki also stopped Jarrell Washington, who stopped Robert Hellenius. And yeah, so that's the fight, apparently. It says here that Hellenius handlers had been negotiating for him to fight Joseph Parker, a fight the zone would have streamed as part of the Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas undercard in Texas, right? And here you go. It's going to Kownacki's record and all of this and all of this. But anyway, whatever, man. Look, what do y'all think about this fight, Adam Kownacki versus Robert Hellenius? Yeah, what do y'all think? Adam Kownacki versus Robert Hellenius. What do y'all think? I mean, it is what it is. PBC is a weird place because Kownacki is in an interesting spot. The problem is Kownacki's fights that are worth a damn, that would get him acclaim, working his way up the rankings, are elsewhere. And Kownacki should be fighting Joseph Parker. Kownacki should be fighting, not Robert Hellenius. he should be fighting Joseph Parker. But again, Kownacki is one of these favored few in the PBC that they're trying to keep him warm because he brings a lot of fans out to watch his fights because, you know, there's a big Polish population. They come out to support him no matter who he fights. So they figure if, you know, if they get an opportunity, they can always do a Kownacki versus Deontay Wilder at Barclays, and it'll probably sell out. Not because of Wilder, but because of Kownacki, right? And in my opinion, Kownacki is wasting his time. With these types of fights. His fights are elsewhere. There's, you know, he's already beaten people like Jarrell Washington. I mean, the Dominic Brazil fight would have been another beating Brazil would have to take because Kownacki comes forward and Brazil takes a lot of punishment. So that's what it would have been. It would have been a poor boxing match. It would have been, you know, it would have been a mismatch again. Dominic Brazil is a dude who just takes punishment. That's his job. He takes punishment. Robert Helenius, the same thing. These are dudes who are throwaway fighters. PBC don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? Kownacki is being kept warm. He's not being allowed to really advance his career. He's going to be used as another mid-level fight for Deontay Wilder. But Kownacki really is not doing shit. I'm not sure what the appeal was of turning on the Anthony Joshua fight. What was the appeal of that? For Robert Helenius? For Chris Ari? I mean, what is the appeal? So I want y'all to tell me if y'all think Adam Kownacki is wasting his time in PBC. I think he's wasting his time. The fights that matter to him in the heavyweight division are elsewhere. So, you know, I think a Kownacki Joseph Parker fight for a maybe a number 2 spot in the WBO would be great. I know Fox and PBC have this thing where they don't really acknowledge the WBO. So maybe that's the reason they're not really pursuing that. But to me, Adam Kownacki versus Joseph Parker would be a great fight. But this fight against Robert Helenius, this ain't shit. You understand? That's my opinion. I don't know if there's a big fan base for Robert Helenius anywhere in the US. Where's Robert Helenius from? Robert Helenius is from Estonia. Is there a big Estonian population in America? I don't know. But the Polish fans are going to come out to watch Adam Kownacki beat up somebody else. And that's fine. But in my opinion, Adam Kownacki is wasting his time over at PBC. And I don't see the reasoning for this. PBC is putting on these mid-level, lower-level cards all day. It's Deontay Wilder or nothing. All the other guys are just food for Deontay Wilder because they're not being allowed to fight fights that are going to make them better, that are going to advance their career, moving up to Deontay Wilder. What is Adam Kownacki going to learn against Robert Helenius? What is he going to learn? Not going to learn nothing, you know? So, in my opinion, Kownacki needs to move on from PBC. I don't know the contract situation, but he should try and work with other people. These fights are taking him nowhere. They're just kind of keeping him warm for Deontay Wilder. That's it. That's my opinion. I don't have a lot more to say. If anybody wants to say anything or jump on the stream with me, that's fine. If not, I'm going to get off. I'll see y'all another time. Give me any comments on the Robert Helenius, Adam Kownacki fight. Big Baby Miller coming back on wilder-fury2, potentially. And the whole Mike Perry calling people nigger and all types of shit. Give me all opinions, right? I want y'all to have a nice day and peace and power.